Welcome to My Safety Training Online presents Fire Extinguisher Safety 2012. What you will learn. We'll discuss the types of fire extinguishers and the fires they should be used on, how to use a fire extinguisher on a fire, the rules for fighting fires, and fuel classifications. Alright, baby cakes, let's discuss some of these fuel classifications. We got Class A, which is wood, paper, cloth, trash, plastics, solids that are not metals. We have Class B, which are flammable liquids, such as gasoline, oil, grease, acetone, and flammable gases. We have Class C, which are electrical energized equipment, as long as it's plugged in. We have Class D, which is the metals, covering potassium, sodium, aluminum, magnesium, requiring a Metal X, foam, or other special extinguishing agent. Wet chemical units are designed specifically for grease fires in kitchens and meet a specific new Class K listing required in all restaurant kitchens. They may contain the special potassium acetate, which has a low pH agent and which leaves no chemical residue to clean up. The spray applicator wand keeps the operator at a safe distance from the fire. Part 2, Fire Extinguisher Types. Fire extinguisher types include water, also referred to as APW, carbon dioxide, or CO2, and dry chemical, covering ABC, BC, and DC. Types of fire extinguishers include the water, or APW, which has a large silver appearance that stand about 2 feet tall and weigh about 25 pounds when full. APW stands for air pressurized water, which is filled with ordinary tap water and pressurized air, and they are essentially just large squirt guns. We have APWs extinguishing fire by taking away the heating element of the fire triangle, which of course is oxygen, heat, and fuel. APWs are designed for Class A fires only, which are wood, paper, and cloth. Using a water on a flammable liquid fire could cause a fire to spread. Using a water on an electrical fire increases the chance of electrocution. If you have no choice but to use an APW on an electrical fire, make sure the electrical equipment is unplugged or de-energized. APWs are found in older buildings, particularly in public hallways or in commercial cooking areas. They may also be found in computer labs, and it's important to remember that, however, computer equipment must be disconnected from its electrical source before using a water extinguisher on it. The next type of fire extinguishers is CO2. The pressure in a CO2 extinguisher is great that bits of ice may shoot out the horn when using it. CO2 extinguishers are red, and they range in size from 5 pounds to 100 pounds or larger. On the larger sizes, the horn at the end may be a long, flexible hose. CO2 extinguishers have no gauge, a hard horn, and are designed for Class B and C, flammable liquids or electrical fires only. CO2s are frequently found in laboratories, mechanical rooms, kitchens, and flammable liquid storage areas. CO2 is continued. When discussing CO2 in NFPA regulations and manufacturing recommendations, all CO2 extinguishers at a company undergo a hydrostatic testing and recharging every 5 years. CO2 is very cold when it comes out of the extinguisher, so it will look like a fuel as well. Carbon dioxide, however, is a non-flammable gas that takes away the oxygen element of the fire triangle. Without oxygen, there is no fire. CO2 may be ineffective in extinguishing a Class A fire because it is not able to displace enough oxygen to successfully put the fire out. Class A materials may smolder and reignite. Dry chemical extinguishers put out the fire by coating the fuel with a thin layer of dust. This separates the fuel from the oxygen in the air. The powder also works to interrupt the chemical reaction of fire. These extinguishers are very effective in putting out fires. ABC fire extinguishers are filled with a fine yellow powder, and the greatest portion of this powder is consisted of monoammonium phosphate. These extinguishers are pressurized with nitrogen. ABC extinguishers are red. On your location, they may range in size from 5 pounds to 20 pounds. They will have a gauge, and they will have fine powder. You may see them labeled DC for dry chemical, ABC for Class A, B, and C fires, or BC, designed for only Class B and Class C fires. An ABC extinguisher will have a label like this, indicating that it is used on a Class A, B, or C fire. You don't want to mistakenly use a BC extinguisher on a Class A fire, thinking that it is a ABC extinguisher. It's extremely important to identify which types of dry chemical extinguishers are located in your work area or home. Here you can see that dry chemical extinguishers with the powder BC may be located in places such as commercial kitchens or areas with flammable liquids. In any commercial building, you will find ABC extinguishers in the public hallways of new buildings, in labs, offices, chemical storage areas, mechanical rooms. Saponification is a process that produces soap, usually from fats and lyes. Fires that involve cooking oils or fats are designed with Class K under the American system. Though such fires are technically a subclass of fires for flammable liquids and gases, the special characteristics of these fires are considered important enough to recognize them separately. It is here that saponification is used to extinguish these types of fires. Certain metals or combustibles. Fires involving the Class D in both systems are ordinary combustible materials, but examples of such metals are sodium, titanium, magnesium, potassium, uranium, lithium, plutonium, and calcium. Water or other common firefighting materials can excite metal fires. Therefore, special Class D extinguishers are needed. Here we can see a chart which shows you the type of fire and the type of extinguisher to be used. Ordinary combustibles requiring Type A fire extinguishers, flammable liquids with Type B, flammable gases also Type B, electrical equipment Type C, combustible metals Type D, and cooking oil or fats Class K. Part 3. Putting out the fire. My fellow Americans, I cannot tell a lie. The past method stands for P for pull, A for aim, S for squeeze, and S for sweep. Remember, P stands for pulling the pin. This will allow you to discharge the fire extinguisher. A stands for aim. Aim at the base of the fire. Hit the fuel. If you aim at the flames, the fire extinguishing agent will fly right through it and do no good. S stands for squeeze. Squeeze the top of the handle. This depresses a button that releases the pressurized agent. S stands for sweep. Sweep from side to side until the fire is completely out. Start using the extinguisher from a safe distance away and then slowly move forward, always allowing yourself a means of exit. Part 4. Rules for fighting a fire. The number one rule in fighting a fire is assisting any person in immediate danger of safety, if it can be accomplished without risk to yourself. Fires, of course, are very dangerous, and you should always be certain that you will not endanger yourself and others when attempting to put out the fire. For this reason, when a fire is discovered, assist any person in immediate danger and then call 911. Before deciding to fight the fire, keep in mind these things. Know what is burning. If you don't know what is burning, you won't know what kind of extinguisher to use. Even if you have an ABC fire extinguisher, there may be something in the fire that's going to explode or produce toxic fumes that could overwhelm you. As you evacuate a building, close the doors and windows behind you as you leave. This will help slow the spread of smoke and fire. And also remember, before deciding to fight the fire, keep in mind these things. Is the fire spreading rapidly beyond the point where it started? The time to use an extinguisher is the beginning stages of a fire. If the fire is already spreading quickly, it's best to simply evacuate the building. Rules for fighting a fire when not to fight. You don't have adequate or appropriate equipment. If you don't have the correct type or large enough extinguisher, it's best not to try fighting a fire. You might inhale toxic smoke. When synthetic materials such as nylon in carpeting or foam padding in sofa burn, they can produce hydrogen cyanide, acrolein, ammonia, in addition to carbon monoxide. These gases can be fatal in very small amounts. Your instincts tell you not to. If you're uncomfortable with the situation for any reason, just let the fire department do their job. In case an extinguisher malfunctions or something unexpected happens, you need to be able to get out quickly. You don't want to be trapped by your situation. The final rule is always position yourself with an exit or means of escape at your back before attempting to use an extinguisher to put out a fire. Okay, let's sum it up. Use the right extinguisher for the right situation. ABC fire extinguisher for wood, paper, cloth, trash and plastics. Solids that are not metals. Never fight a fire unless it meets a specific safety criteria. Use the pass method for putting out the fire. Always leave yourself an exit before you decide to fight the fire.